Alright, hello once again. We're back with another art stream. Guess what? It's more backgrounds time. We love us some backgrounds. There's like lots of parts left for them to do. So we gotta do some of them today. And I gotta do them while I'm in pain. Because I don't know what happened, but I got serious back pain stuff going on again, like right in my lower back. It's pretty awful. I woke up this morning and literally I was like, oh no, trying to get out of bed. I just said oh no out loud. And I'm trying to decide, okay, maybe it's time for me to buy a new mattress. I don't know if the mattress is actually causing the problem, but it probably is not helping, because I got it from IKEA like 10 years ago. And I think that's past the limit of when a mattress will work decently enough. Hello, thank you for coming. Sorry, I'm starting out being like, my back hurts, I'm old. Could be I'm old. Could be my bed sucks, I don't know. But I hope you are doing better today on this, the Ides of March. A day of a lot of senators doing some stabbing. What a fun holiday. I love how Ides of March has just become like a Tumblr holiday. Make a lot of jokes about it. It's like it's creeping up on all the other holidays. Now there's no even time to celebrate Mario Day. Yes, I hope you're doing well. Again, we are doing backgrounds today again. I've got plenty of Eldritchrune ending stuff to do, but that includes backgrounds, so that I can get those done and we can move on. Thankfully, they're not going to be quite as extensive to work on as one of the previous panels back there. And I'm hoping next week I'll have some character stuff to do for the next mainline comic. I'll have a little time to work on that. Finally, after what feels like weeks of no time to work on it. But we'll find out. And meanwhile, there's always backgrounds to do. Of debris. Yeah, I was thinking, oh no, I should probably get a new mattress as opposed to the one I've got from IKEA like 10 years ago. It's probably not doing me any favors. And I just went to look up mattresses online. I'm like, oh, these things are like $1,000 or more. Oh, okay. This really is true what they say. $1,000 is not a lot to have, but it's a lot to spend. Maybe that's a very adult problem. But alas, alack. Thank you for being here with me on this drawn day. This drawn Ides of March day. Very least, my apartment's all clean. That always feels nice. Yeah. I got a bunch of shinies for Community Day yesterday. Kind of a ridiculous amount compared to what I usually get. I think it was like 11 shinies total. Which I ain't complaining, but good chunk. Yeah, I'm a little frustrated. I haven't had much time to get to the next mainline comic because I'm like, oh, I want to work on it. It'll be really neat. It'll be a little different from the usual. And no, I've just been busy with work, busy with life stuff. I'm going to conventions and all that, which has been good for me actually. I needed to get out and socialize a little bit and go places, so Did that a bunch the last few weekends. And that was good. Probably need to do it even more. Even more. I'll be coming back to this area later. I'm kind of thinking, once I get to the like last 5 or 6 parts of the Eldritchrune ending, they're all basically taking place in the same location. So if I can reuse backgrounds extensively in those parts, it'll save me a good chunk of time. That does mean I would need to like rough things out well in advance so I know what I'm reusing and what I'm not. Recycle, reduce, reuse. It's true for the environment and it's true for art. It's good for you. Yoink, yoink. I am a little sad I didn't get like a pie because it was pie day yesterday and I'm like, oh, I could have had a pie. But I didn't think about that. Very knife heavy weekend. We have Ides of March today and Pie Day yesterday. One of Chris's favorite days. Break out the knife for the pie. And then Friday the 13th. That's Jason's day. And more knives. I've never actually seen the Halloween series, so I don't know the lore around that. But I don't think I'm much of a fan of slasher films. That particular brand of horror I don't think would be super fun for me. For some people, it is super fun. But alas, not for me. But it is fun to make funny holidays about it. Whatever excuse you can get to have a day about something. Can't complain about that. You know, all the houses are falling down except for this house. Still doing okay. Don't know why. Ugh. Oh, I realized I should have taken I was going to take a Tylenol, an Advil or something for the back pain after eating my breakfast. And I forgot. I wonder if it'll still count. Like half an hour later. I don't know, how fast do you digest things? I don't know. I can't tell. I can take it with, maybe I can take it with the orange juice. That counts as a food, right? A drink of some kind. I gotta do something about my lower back. Like sitting and working is not too bad, but that's already because like my chair setup is such that I have like a bunch of padding and I have a little pillow behind my back so that I have better posture and I'm trying not to shrimp so much. It's a little bit inevitable just because, you know, when you're leaning over something you gotta shrimp, but I try and shrimp as little as I can when I'm working because it makes my wrist worse when I shrimp. Because then all my shoulders hunching, all my muscles hunching together. And that's bad, because that affects everything else down the line. I just realize that gate there looks like a mouth with big buck teeth. Ah! Don't come in, I'm a giant beaver gate. I can trust you. You're from the internet. Wow. Yeah, I don't think it's any. It's not like Tylenol. I think it's just like a basic acetylphenidine or ibuprofen, whatever it is. Like the more common one. I thought in general you're supposed to like take headache medicine or pain meds with like food or something. It's a little bit better. My shrimp buttons. I'm about to say my shrimp button's stuck. I'm stuck in the shrimps. I know shrimping takes less effort. I know you got to think about not shrimping. I know, but it's important. It's important to not shrimp. The shrimp button. I press it and shrimp appears. I did have shrimp last week. I must have pressed the shrimp button a bunch. Where can I buy the shrimp button for my computer? Best Shrimp, I guess. Then again, do you want computer shrimp? I feel like that might not be very fresh. Where do you source your electronic sea bugs? Oh my goodness, that's an electronic shrimp. Somebody's pressed the shrimp button. Hooray. Also, thank you for coming. And thank you for the shrimp. Oh, that's funny. Wasn't there like a deal a while back where, I don't know much about, shrimp button. Oh, shrimps. Shrimp. Wasn't there a deal a while back about like Kenny Omega? I don't know a lot about wrestling, but he did like some big, Sans Undertale thing. And it was like a big deal. I'm working with very limited information, but I know there was some Sans deal with wrestling. Just what Noelle's always wanted. Or Sans went to a Halloween event. Interesting. She's my guitar hero. Wah, wah, wah. Sans Undertale WrestleMania win. I guess you'd have the same problem as like Smash Brothers, and he's like, I'm too lazy to wrestle. Tenna won the championship. I just like Tenna beating Spamton. The divorce is getting out of hand. Undyne used to be in WrestleMania. She's the one to be like, yeah, and curb stomp everybody. She like suplex. She does suplexes already. She'd be perfect for Wrestle. And then Alfie's just watching her, just big-eyed from the stands. She has some huge plethora of signs to hold up. And that's the power of TV, I guess. Even a depressed TV can win the championship. Inspiring story. This reminds me of a... Let's see, what was the Survey Program podcast did an episode recently where they did fantasy baseball with Undertale Deltarune characters. And, they had rules for it. So it's like, who would you pick for your baseball team from Undertale Deltarune characters? And it's like, obviously if you want a good hitter, you got to get Des on your team because we know she does baseball. So that she was one of the first ones picked. And then people get given their... reasons for who you'd pick on your fantasy baseball team. Good grief, that's too large. I mean, I guess that makes sense for Tenna because in the in the game itself, his sprite is just massive compared to everybody else for reasons, probably 3D reasons. Yeah, so they must have had like divorce battle at some point. There's so much drama you can get out of divorce. Is like gay divorce too homosexual for them or something? Can they not do it that way? Divorce drama. I mean, that does kind of sound like Birdley. He would just like draw out his entrance and talk long about how, oh, I'm the coolest and stuff. I'm a little sad that in Love Buster we played on Friday that Birdley didn't quite get a proper dating route. His was more of a joke, but at the same time I can understand why it might be really hard to write a non-joke Birdley dating route. You're gonna, unless you do like, I don't know, an humorous reference. Which, do we want to do that? Oh, Birdley. Well, you see, Chris, it's all about presence. It's how you enter the room. Yep, that's always the way it is with Tina and the divorce. Yeah, actually, we were talking about wrestling. I'm not sure how it got to that, but yeah, divorce wrestling, which of course would mean Tina does stuff. Wrestling in general feels like a whole other world, a whole other ecosystem to me, where I'm like, huh, fascinating. I know nothing about your biome. Oh, that's not canon. Garrison, Garrison would be undefeated, especially with his hammer. Unless he was just doing it to be like, okay, and now you've learned how to stand up for yourself or something. But I don't know if Tina needs that lesson. Tina doesn't need the stand up for yourself lesson. Tina needs the stop projecting your problems onto children lesson. I don't remember that because I've never played a weird route, so I don't remember like all of Spamton's lines in the Spamton Neo fight. Hello, thank you for coming. We are discussing wrestling, and my back hurts a lot. Oh, regular violence. What does he say in regular violence one? That's how conservative record experience is being a theater kid. No. Oh my goodness, thank you for the subscription. Also, that's so many months. Thank you. I super appreciate it. Does he start saying the juice commercial? I don't remember that at all. He starts doing the fresh from the juice thing? That's wild. Oh yeah, for Jevil you'd have to do like a spin attack. Don't go quietly into the night. Wrong. Spin attack, spin attack, spin attack. And used Izuna drop. We were already jam-packed full of stuff in Chapter 3 to do. Even if most of that was play Zelda. Oh yeah, we gotta have Yoshi. We never did get a proper Yoshi. We got it like mentioned briefly in one of the quizzes. And even then it was like, and then Asriel stopped playing as Yoshi and is like, no! He got embarrassed about it. No! Yeah, I guess that is true. I thought it would be way more like just focused on like TV references, but it was pretty much like, no, you also use your TV to play video game. Here is video game. Yeah, that is true. Well, not for me, unfortunately, because I did not have consoles growing up. I was at the right age to have stuff like, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and whatever, but parents did not like consoles, so we didn't have them. I actually had to go play outside a bunch. I already spent a lot of time playing on the computer. And parents were like, don't do that so much, so I did go outside, which is probably good for me. Otherwise I would have been just indoors on the computer all day. As everyone plays the Hot Swordswoman, which is its own kind of embarrassing. Oh no, Asriel started liking girls. Okay. Chris, for my next trick, I will fill my body with electricity and become spamted X. Are you ready, kids? Turn up the juice. Turn up the juice. Sure you don't get it on your shoes. Are you getting all this, Mike? I'm finally gonna be a big shot. And then he was not a big shot. He didn't become a gooner. He became a regular teenage boy. A regular ass teen, like going to college and meeting people and getting girlfriends and boyfriends, boy. Oh no, the perfect child you had in your head turned out to be a regular person. Oh no. The golden child trope was always doomed to be a lie. Chugging human energy drinks. I gotta finish my term paper. What is he studying? What do you think Asriel is studying? Oh, it turned out to be straight. Yeah, that's the problem. He could be bi. He could be, you don't know. He could be bi. Although, admittedly, we haven't seen a sign of him liking a boy yet. He's only like girls. He's probably straight. Fine. But he could be bi. We don't know. He could also be Arrow Ace, but I feel like that chance is slipping from us more and more, especially if he was dating, Des and they were, like, making out and stuff, removing his retainer. I'm like, oh, it sounds like he was, I mean, maybe he was experimenting and didn't know he was Ace yet, but it kind of sounds like he was in multiple situations where he was kissing a girl. So he was either deeply in denial about being Arrow Ace, or he just is, he likes girls. You stress. No. This is somehow your father's fault. I was like, what'd I do? Good for him. Again, he's just a regular kid. Hometown puts him on a pedestal, and then, like, the player puts him on a pedestal too, and we have to remember, he's just in this universe, he's just a guy. I know, bring a human home from college, and oh my goodness, that would just explode Chris's brain. I do want him to mention someone that he's started dating in college, because again, I think it would be really interesting if, like, everybody was too stuck in the past and like, oh, we're gonna, resurrect his dead girlfriend and bring Des back, and everything, is gonna be, all the pain's gonna be worth it to restore things to how they were. And then, oh no, nobody actually thought to consult Asriel on what he wanted. You all just assumed. Look what happens. I am with you. I am also Asriel fans. I want him to be a complex and nuanced person. I desire this. I want him to, like all the other characters, be a real person and not an idealized thing. Even Chris has idealized him in some sense. I don't want him to be like an asshole, because I don't know if that would be all that interesting. But I would like him to be, I want him to be complex. I want people to be wrong about what they assume about him in some fashion. And that he has other needs that people haven't, like, really taken into account. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's probably another reason why he's into girls, is the How to Draw Dragons book, and he never brought that back, and he's probably just into girls. Specifically reptile and dragon girls, but hey, we have Susie, we can't blame him for that. Chris like, I get it. Everybody wants them a hot dragon girl. I know, we can't ignore this anymore. Damn it. He's straight. Oh no. He's gonna be doomed. The straight ones, they end up divorced. Azzy, no. I guess his relationship was already doomed because Des disappears. Look, this is what happens when you're straight. In the Undertale Deltarune universe. Bad things happen to you. Watch out. How will he escape it? I guess our only hope is that he does gotta end up trans. Then he can be queer in that way. No, he can still be Arrow, I believe. Yeah, he should have some aura. I don't want him to be like an asshole, but I do want him to like... He shouldn't be perfect. I want him to like... He has to call somebody an idiot just once, you know, for the sake of the Flowey reference. Yeah, he should be a dweeb. I think that much is a given. I think he's definitely a dweeb. I don't think that's going to change out of him when he goes to college, you know. If anything, college can make you even more dweeby. Because nobody will discourage it. This is from the fortress. They're gonna be attacking the fortress next. And they have like, you know, these big crossbow things, which I tried to look up like what one is online, and I'm like, well, I hope this is close enough. Close enough. Ballista, that's it, ballista. I'm like, okay, if they don't have gunpowder, then I have to have other defenses. I guess they have the boiling oil or something. You know, they basically stuff not a threat to the beasts. Might be a problem if you're a human, but not to these guys. Gosh, what a sad day realizing that Asriel is straight. What will the Azzy Pants fans do? Doom and gloom. Well, I don't think I'll ever address any of that in Eldritchrune here. That's true. That's true. People will ship whatever they want. Nothing can stop them. Are you gonna tell the fandom police? Whatever. I mean, I don't do that anyway, but still, yeah. Cannot hurt you in the fortress of the mind. Use the power of your imagination. You can make Asriel and Azzy Pants, or you can make Asriel and Pizza Pants smooch. You can do it. With all the powers of my imagination. Ooh, this is something that's always a pain for me to draw, is like any machinery. This probably falls into the same category as like guns, vehicles. Machinery is difficult because, again, kind of easy to tell if it's off, but complicated to work out. Honestly, usually the problem with machinery is that if it's something that exists in real life, I'll just trace it. Because it's like, okay, if I know it's supposed to look like the thing it actually is anyway, and the thing that actually it is, you know, a rigid structure that doesn't change. And Eldritchrune, he's called Shit Pants. I think he might be, yeah, because he cleans up horse shit. I guess it's either that or horse pants. I don't know which is worse. Probably shit pants. Manure pants. It could be that, yeah. That's probably the nicest word. Go like, hey, shit pants, how's it going? It's like, it's manure pants. Dookie pants, that's the worst. That's even worse than the other one. I don't know why that one is so bad. It is. No. Soiled pants. These are only getting worse. How are these all becoming worse than shit pants? Yeah, it's because it's childish. You can't take him seriously at all. He's just doomed. He's super doomed in this universe. Oh, I just realized I gotta take a break. It's break time. Time for me to stand up and feel the horrible pain in my back. Oh, why for? Again, literally, when I woke up this morning, I tried to get out of bed. I just said, "Oh no," out loud because we hate backs. I probably need to go buy a new mattress, and it's gonna be so many dollars. It's gonna be so many. My favorite character, Poopy Pants. Sounds like Poopy Pants playtime. Silly doo-doo fart pants. I know, I do need to buy a new back. Ugh. It's not usually a problem, as is evidenced by me standing up. No, that's the Captain Underpants filming? I never read Captain Underpants. I'm not sure what that was contemporary with, but I think it was after my time. No! Oh, the worst ads, I'm sorry. Don't listen to them, they're so annoying. It's really funny if you see like those ads that are like gambling, and then after that is like if you have a gambling problem, let's reach out and talk about it. It's like, I wonder where the gambling problem came from. Professor Poopy Pants, so his name is PPP. 3P. I guess the whole point is that it's names to make a kid giggle because they're scandalous. We're mentioning fart and poop, and that's scandalous. You can't talk about that when you're 5. Your parents will get mad at you for it, which is why you then want to talk about it, because that's fun. It's making the parents upset. I'm trying to think of instances where fart or poop jokes really work for adult comedy. They're kind of far between. Oh, that's okay. That's a cute little kid joke. It's young enough that I grew up with it and old enough that I grew up with it. No. I know it has been around for a while. I just don't think it was a kid when I came out. I was probably a teen, a young teen, so not my age group. Same way, I really didn't get into SpongeBob because that was not something I watched growing up. You're the narrative's favorite? That's cool. I'm the narrative's poop joke. I don't know. It could be worse to be the narrative's favorite, depending on the narrative. Sometimes if you were the narrative's poop joke, then, the narrative will leave you alone quick enough before it gets to the real bad stuff. Unlike here, in which Burger Pants, also the poop joke, and also gets a bad end. You get named Manure Pants, yeah. That would be pretty bad. You get named Manure Pants, then murdered. True. Never mind. This is not the correct narrative to escape being the poop joke. Because you still got murdered. Yeah, I guess most people do that. Alright, I'll be right back with one more stretch in water and stuff. Alrighty, I return. Oh. the opposite of divine win. No. No. We can laugh now, but that's going to happen to all of us at some point one day. I don't think there's enough for that. This weird structure we're going to be spending a bunch of time in right now. We're going to put a bunch of people here for Susie to munch upon. For Susie to get her om-nom-noms. That's going to take forever to draw, though. I think that's like 2 parts from this one, so watch out for that in the future. Actually, no, it's not 2 parts. It's 1 part from this. The next part after this one. I know, because the backgrounds after this are very simple, because I was like, there's no room for backgrounds here. It's all just stuff happening. Too much stuff happening for a background. Yeah, that's going to take a while to draw. But it's only my own fault. I knew it would. Are there any other, like, kid jokes, aside from, like, stuff like poop and farts, that, like, really only are funny to kids, and then they kind of just really drop off of humor as you get older? I'm sure there's probably some that I'm thinking of, but I can't think of them now. Do kids still do low random humor at, like, a certain age? Because I remember that being, yeah, a big thing in, like, middle school or so. Do middle schoolers still do a low random humor? Like, you know, haha, cheese, biscuits, waffles, rar means I love you, and all that other stuff? I don't even know what that means, so probably means I'm too old. I'm too old to know. So what is the form then? If the type is the same, what is the form nowadays? If it's not little random XD, then how does it manifest? I still use XD. Nobody's going to take XD away from me. It's useful as an emoticon. I don't have to go digging through like a big pile of emoticons. I can just type XD in there. You understand what I mean. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. It's so bad. My little brother messaged me for the first time in a long time. We're usually both too busy to text each other, and he's like, "Can you help me? I started playing Fire Red, and I want to trade for a for Alakazam." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't have a Fire Red or Leaf Green. The last one I have is Violet. I don't think you can trade back and forth between those two." Did get a bunch of shiny Score Bunny yesterday for the Pokemon Go event, though. Okay. Oh wow, these ones are gonna be so hard to draw again. It's gonna be like all of next one, which is gonna be just a bunch of walls and stuff, because I won't have room for anything else. I think it's just Switch 1, but I don't think my brother has a Switch 2 yet. Car spending $20 for it. Yeah, I still don't have a Switch 2, which is why I have not played Pokopia. I might get a Switch 2 for the next mainline Pokemon game, Winds and Waves, especially if I like the how the final evolutions are, because those starters were very cute. But I want to see their final Evos first. And also legendaries are probably nice to see. We haven't seen those yet. But I'm not going to get a Switch 2 right away. It's expensive. I'm fine with my regular Switch. I always tend to be like, I don't know, a couple years late to the new console. I'll get to it someday. Nice. Oh yeah, that was a while ago, I guess. I did play, I think it was, yeah, I think I played Ultra Moon. Well, apparently they changed like a lot of the storyline stuff in the Ultra versions rather than the regular versions, which, odd. But the last recent mainline game I played was Violet. I haven't played any of the Legends ones. Yeah, BDSP, Legends, Arceus, and Za. I've said Za in better towns than this. I hope somebody's made that joke with Pokemon Legends Za. Ooh. Cough, why? I don't even have the excuse of having drunk a bunch of boba all at once. That's what I've heard. I heard Arceus was really good and Za was a little mediocre. Which, too bad. At least we got a bunch of new megas. I do like the mega evolutions, but sad the game itself wasn't that great. What about it was mediocre? Mediocre. At least compared to Arceus, because people did seem to really like Arceus. There's the Holiday Mansion. It suffered some structural damage. Sorry, we caved one of your sides of your house in. Didn't like the gameplay loop. Want to be about tournament fighting and climbing the ranks. Aw, that stinks. The duct tape industry would be making a killing if duct tape existed in medieval times, which it did not. When was duct tape invented? That sounds like something was probably invented in, like, the 60s or 70s, right? Maybe it's been around longer, but it feels like something that's, like, relatively recent. Really that long ago? Huh. Must be something else that was, some other kind of tape that was that recent. I mean, that's fair, yeah. There are definitely like a plethora of monster catching, monster battling games out now, as long as they don't just completely curb Pokemon's designs. Which is very annoying when that happens. Like, no, I don't think like Game Freak or Nintendo whatever should sue over like the concept of monster collector or monster battler games, because you can do a lot of oh, it is? Okay, so it was around that time. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard about cassette beasts or, I don't know, was it Sin Eater or something like that? Like, you can do some cool stuff with, monster battler, monster collector games, all that kind of stuff. Just design your own monster. Please don't copy Pokemon's creature designs, because everybody will be able to tell, and it's kind of annoying. There was some game that was being advertised recently, and it was just like designs blatantly copied from Pokemon, and not even just Pokemon, but blatantly copied from people's like fan Pokemon. Like people being like, oh, I'm gonna, design a Mega Evolution for this Pokemon that we don't have yet, because it's fun to do that. And they just blatantly copied somebody's fan design for a Mega and turned that into their monster collector game. And it's like, dude, that sucks. Yeah, that was at Pikmin. Like, come on. The whole point of doing a monster collector game is that you want to design all the little guys. Because designing the little guys is fun, and people like to do it on their own. Why would you do a game where the point is to, like, catch all the little guys? It's like, we're not going to use our own little guys, we'll use somebody else's little guys. Like, what is the point? They're really, like, I don't understand trying to rage bait Nintendo. Please don't sue us, please. We're just a poor, innocent people. We can't come up with our own ideas. Again, Monster Hunter games, or Monster Collector games, very cool. Using designs from somebody else's game, uncool. Make your own stuff. You got brains. You got artists. Certainly, I'm the kind of, if somebody asked me to be like, hey, can you just design a game with a bunch of new little guys? I'd be like, and like, I would jump at that. I would love to design just a bunch of little guys for the game. nice. For me, definitely the game balancing would be harder. My favorite part would be designing all the monsters, but I suppose, like, especially if you have certain design balance kind of things to consider, then that is a lot to do. But it's such a cool opportunity to be creative. Yeah, that's silly. Yeah, exactly. There's no shortage of Critter Collection games with cool designs you can choose from. Yeah, like, it's silly to be like, oh, you can't do, like, a monster collector game kind of thing. Like, that's stupid. Oh, you can't use, you know, this mechanic because we used it. Like, that's dumb. But if it's the kind of thing that's like, okay, this is clearly stolen from something that, like, and you can tell that the reason why it was stolen from this thing was in order to try and, like, increase the sales of what you're trying to do, because people will see that thing and think it's the other thing. That's really annoying. That certainly is an opinion of all time. Mm-hmm. Gym Leader Ed. Ugh. Blech. Gross, gross, gross. Second rule is have fun. Definitely the direct to DVD or direct to video stuff, at least for Disney, was so obnoxious. I think people, like, have a nicer view of those than they really deserve. They really were, like, really done on the cheap, and they were not good. The whole reason why the animation on them looks the way it does is because instead of having the feature team work on those direct to VHS movies, they would, have the TV animation team work on them. And the thing with TV animation is that it does not have the same kind of budget and materials that you have for film, because you have to do things through, like, an entirely different pipeline. It's something that's designed to be, way more streamlined and produce a lot more output. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother issue, is those companies that would just pretend to be another Pixar or Disney movie to fool parents. What a weird little industry. It feels like a parasite kind of industry almost. Like, were the sales really that decent enough that they got, like, a return on that kind of investment? I guess nowadays they would just do it with AI. That would be, like, faster or something. Same amount of effort or whatever. But I don't know. It feels weird to be like, in those days where you would still have to make everything yourself. Was that an okay investment? We have exit home. No, that was from McDonald's at home. We have McDonald's at home. That was the meme. Yes, I think that was. We have hamburger at home. Okay, that's what I thought. McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's. I wish we saw more of that meme going around the pyramid graph or whatever, where the 3 points of it are kids chanting McDonald's, 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 and one parent being like, we have McDonald's at home, or we have food at home, kids, and then parent, and the other one being parent, turns into the drive through as kids cheer, orders one black coffee, and leaves. Maybe that's why it stopped. Maybe because they were just like, well, nobody buys physical DVDs anymore. Maybe that's what killed it. What an irony. Because I guess the problem is if you want your stuff on streaming, you know, you have to go through all the big streaming platforms or whatever to put it on there, and they might just be like, nah, I don't really want your knockoff. I wonder if it's more expensive than DVD sales. I'm curious now. How odd. Ratatouille. We're not going to try and pronounce the actual French words, so, have this instead. Once a long time ago, my mom actually made ratatouille for us, like the proper, you know, from the French cookbook or whatever, ratatouille. And, I think she was nervous about this because, like, me and my brother were notoriously picky eaters, especially about vegetables. Like, there's a lot of stuff I still won't eat. I'm weird and picky and stuff like that. So, I'm a little nervous about serving this vegetable dish. Even when, you know, kids don't like vegetables. All three of us kids ate all of that up. We just, like, licked our plates clean of the ratatouille. We all loved the ratatouille. And she was like, oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you guys liked it. So, ratatouille apparently, good enough for extremely picky American kids. I ate all that because it was really dang good. Yeah, it is like a French comfort food. Thank you, French people. It was just tasty. It was like, that was the point of like that. But I think it was also like in that flashback scene. It was like, oh, I remember this from like, you know, my mom making me it. It was this, you know, sense of familiarity and comfort, like a, you know, I think they have said like this is a peasant dish. This is just like comfort food. But it is mostly like vegetables. It's mostly just vegetables and some sauce and stuff like that, cooked a certain way. But yeah, we loved it. We loved the ratatouille. Extremely picky eater me, who doesn't eat my vegetables enough, was like ate all the vegetable food. It was really good. Yeah, I remember annotations. Oh, I guess they don't do that anymore. Professionals just make a more advanced meal. Hello, thank you for coming. Well, let's do weird stuff with the camera in this shot. Whoa. You can cook anything. Called confit bialdi. What, it wasn't actually ratatouille? What was the difference? Because, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess they have to say it's ratatouille because the whole point is the rat pun. It sounds like rat in English, even though that's not what rat is in French, but I guess that is true. It wasn't presented like you would cook it for, like, a peasant's meal kind of thing. It was presented all fancy, but I wonder if it was cooked more in the style of, you know, poor man's food. Yeah, I think you do cook it in like a... Well, I'm pretty sure I think it's cooked in like a big baking dish. It's kind of cooked in like a casserole dish, actually. At least that's how, when my mom made it, that's how we had it. Like, you cook it in like this big casserole dish in the oven, and then bring it out and spoon it onto your plate and stuff like that. We only had it that once because I think the problem is it just takes a while to prepare. I have like a version I've made because there was like I have this Disney cookbook or whatever, and they have Polynesian ratatouille, which, you know, not the same thing as actual French ratatouille. And it's still mostly just like vegetables and sauce and stuff like that. But you put it on rice, and it was, you know, more ginger and garlic and stuff than I think they would do in France. And it's pretty good. I'll make that for myself sometimes. But it wasn't as good as the one that we got made that one time. It was pretty good. It's I don't remember all the stuff in it, but it's like, yeah, zucchini squash, yellow squash, eggplant, diced tomatoes and onion, and then you cook that up with ginger and garlic and some soy sauce, some sugar, helps bring that out, and cook all that together, and then you throw it on top of some rice, and it's really good. Yeah, it's a lot of vegetables, good for you. Ain't nothing wrong with eating your vegetables however way works. I think definitely my problem growing up was like, we'd mostly get boiled vegetables or whatever, and it's just not very good. Vegetables are so much better if you like put a sauce on them, or saute them, or broil them, or do something to them to make them actually taste good. I'm still too picky about things. Like, I don't really like broccoli or cauliflower. There are a lot of vegetables I don't like, but I am better about eating my vegetables than I was when I was a kid. I try and get at least some vegetables every day. Make sure you eat a plant. It's good for you. Noelle will remind you, eat your plants. Well, that will make a difference, yeah. That's good, though, that you taught yourself to cook in ways that you like. I don't think I'm necessarily a better cook than my parents, but part of that is just, like, I don't really enjoy cooking. Like, for some people, it's, relaxing and fun, and you get to try new things, but I just find it a little tiresome and tedious, so I only cook stuff that I know I like and will not take much time. Because I just don't enjoy it that much, but that's fine. If you do enjoy it, you're in luck. Also doesn't help that my kitchen is pretty small, so I don't have room to like do something big and elaborate. It's like, alright, I've got enough room to do a few things on the stove or a thing in the oven, and I don't know, you got a rice cooker because, those are absolute lifesavers, and I love my rice cooker. It was absolutely worth the money. And I got like a tiny little not a proper real grill, but like a tiny little indoor grill for when I want to grill something, and then that takes up all my kitchen space. Yeah, I think for me it's definitely, I can definitely see it as like an autism thing, on the spectrum thing, just because yeah, when I cook stuff, I'm really weird about stuff being mixed together. Look like entirely within the stream. Yes, it's time for it. Yeah, mixed flavors and textures can be really, really wonky on me. I still don't like hamburgers unless they're plain. I don't like stuff on my hamburger. I don't like pizza unless it's just cheese pizza. Stuff like that. Stuff that people would consider like, weird. Again, I've gotten a little bit better since I was a kid, in which case I just did not want stuff mixed together at all. And nowadays I can much better handle some stuff mixed together. I'm more willing to try something new. Like, we went to a high tea once for a friend's birthday party, and they had a bunch of savory treats there that I had not had before, and they were new, and I tried them all. And so I'm a little better about that, but I definitely am. I'm sure compared to most adults, I am super weird and picky, and there's a lot of stuff I just won't eat. Oh no! Don't steal the food from the toaster oven! No! Kitchen space is gnome size. No! No gnomes! I do like some fish. Like, I like salmon. I have a salmon dish I'll make for myself. And actually, I have 2 salmon dishes I like. But one of them just, like, takes way too long to make, so I won't make it. So I like some salmon, and, I like, I like halibut fine. I like some fish and chips and stuff like that. Or, fish tacos. I like fish tacos. Oh, that would do it. Yep, you get some really good good Asian food. Fried crickets and ramen. I might be willing to try insects if they're like ground up into flour or something. I cannot be like Alfie's eating her bugs. Fish tacos are good. I like fish tacos. And I like shrimp. Shrimps are good. I like my sea bugs. Oh, I can't stand mushrooms. That's a texture thing for me. Like, if there are mushrooms in anything I have, I will pick those right out. I can't deal with mushrooms. I don't like how they're, like, kind of meaty, slimy. Ugh. I'm like, what do you mean you like mushrooms? I can't do mushrooms. Don't like them. Yeah, carrots good. I have carrots all the time. Cucumbers are okay. I like zucchini. My go-to vegetable is green beans. I like green beans. And I will sometimes have like a baby spinach and certain things. Tomatoes. Yeah, zucchini's good. You're eating some zucchini right now. Amazing. I'll make those for my breakfast muffins in a little bit. Usually if I'm trying to branch out and get back to like maybe some yogurt and granola for breakfast, but usually for breakfast I make whole wheat chocolate chip zucchini muffins, and those are pretty good. So you have a little bit of whole wheat, a little bit of vegetable in them. Yeah, so if you don't have any like texture flavor problems with foods, you are fortunate. you have way more options than picky eaters like me. And even then, sometimes, like, you ever get kind of, like, weird about mixed together foods in, like, a completely bizarre way? Like, I'll make myself, like, recently, I'm like, okay, I'll make myself this pasta dish I like, which is, supposed to be asparagus, but I don't like asparagus, so I substitute green beans and, shrimp and pasta noodles and garlic. It's very simple, pretty yummy. And I'll make it all, mixed together into one big dish. But then when I'm eating it, I'll like pick out the vegetables first, because the vegetables are the least fun part, and then I'll pick out like the shrimps, and then I'll have like the pasta last, which doesn't make sense because they're all mixed together, but I still try and like eat them separately. I can't explain it. I mean, it's not completely that way, because sometimes, like, yeah, I'm just going to get a bite full of all 3 of those together, but, yeah, I can't explain it. There's just something, like, satisfying about picking out one food at a time, even in a food where it's prepared and mixed together. The antimatter universe. Turnips for a meat product? I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure there's a reason that most people use, like, beans or soy or something for substitute meat. Oh my goodness, is it almost time for my stretch break again? Oh, that's no good. I don't think it's cool to take away food as like a punishment for kids. That's going to cause a problem. My parents definitely had the opposite problem, where they would give me these foods and I didn't want to eat them because I was picky. And one of my younger brothers was picky as well. So they had 2 picky kids, and then finally the last one was like pretty decent about actually eating the food given to them. Again, both me and my brother got better as we got older, but when we were kids, we were kind of a terror in that regard. Really obnoxious, especially like once we got to we traveled around Europe a bunch, which they don't give a crap about having a chicken nuggets or whatever for kids. You're supposed to eat what you're given. So we would often run into problems trying to get us to eat something if we were out and about traveling, because they're like, no, eat what you're given, you dum-dums. What are you Americans doing? So we would just be like, we want to go to McDonald's, because we knew we could get something we would like at McDonald's, and parents are like, we're in Europe, why do we have to go to McDonald's? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's rough. You don't want to have dread about that. That's no fun. Yeah, that's another problem. It sucks because, like, yeah, if you're a really picky or sensitive eater, then you go to, like, another country where everything's super different from what you're used to. So if you're already sensitive about that, you're just going to be even more sensitive and not want to eat anything. But it's bad because then to the, hosting country, it seems like, oh, you don't like our food, it's not good enough for you. And it's like, no, I'm just a stupid kid. And I'm weird about food in general. It's not a you problem, it's a me problem. But you can't, like, say that. You can't articulate that because you're like a kid. Alright, I'm going to do my stretches. Oh no, what do you mean pool water? Ugh, ugh. How do you mess up a potato? Potato's like one of those things that, like, you can't go wrong with. It's like your most basic starch. Almost every culture has figured out how to do something with a potato, even if they don't have native potato. Chlorine, ugh. How do you mess up the glorious potato? That's so sad. Oh no. I mean, I guess you could do a shepherd's pie like curry, but I don't know how you would do that. Yeah, how do you screw up a potato? That should be illegal. You can't screw up potatoes. There are so many interesting ways you can do a potato. Well, then again, like, I don't like potato salad. It's probably the mayonnaise. I can't stand mayonnaise. So that's not the potato's fault. That's the mayonnaise fault, for me, at least. But either way, you should not be having a potato that tastes like chlorine. Something has gone terribly wrong there. Did, like, boil them in pool water or something? I don't understand. I'm sure somebody has tried that. Somebody's like, oh, I can't get the water to work. I'll just use water from the pool. We swim in that, right? It's safe. It's like, that's not the same thing as what you cook with. I mean, I guess technically you can do mashed potatoes with the peel on, but it's got little bits in it. Ugh. And you have to add stuff. Like, at the very least, you have to add salt with mashed potatoes. Like, that's the bare minimum. But you can definitely add other things to mashed potatoes. Okay, that might do it. Yeah, maybe it was the metal or something. Still chlorine, that's weird. What a weird taste to get out of that. How to do a lifeguard pH strip test on the water before family boils potatoes in it. I wonder how often professional cooks, like, do pH tests on water. It probably makes a difference. Having more basic or acidic water. I don't know. Because, like, I don't know, there are certain foods you can get in certain regions where part of the reason it tastes better in the region it originates from is because, like, of something weird, like, well, the water here is, a bit more acidic in a certain way, which chemically reacts to the other ingredients here. And, you know, you get the effect you want better. Oh no, no oven fries, no! Yeah, they're so easy to make. You just chop up a bunch of potato, get some oil and salt in them, some spice. Now you have potato. Delicious potato. Why are they called oven fries when you oven the fries of how hot eat the fries? Don't eat the fries too hot. It'll burn your mouth. I've definitely done that in the past. Dumb kid me is like, oh yeah, the pizza's fresh out of the oven. I'm gonna stick it in my mouth. And the hot cheese is like, I burn your mouth. Don't enjoy any more of your pizza because burn your mouth. Never a fun time. Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch and other things. Alright, I return with my orange juice. I guess the deal with fries is like, fries are so subjective. Like I don't necessarily like it if fries are too crispy. I kind of like it when fries are softer. Like when like In-N-Out Burgers fries, they're like actually quite soft, and you can really taste the potato in them more than you can the fry, if that makes sense. And some people really hate that. I like it though. I kind of like being able to taste the potato in them more. They are not over fried, I guess. Say goodbye to your taste buds, kid. I know. Don't burn it. Okay, they aren't crispy at all. I don't know, I've never made like a fry before. I've never really deep fried anything on my own. Yeah, exactly. Fries are subjective. Everybody prefers their fries different. Some people like really crunchy fries. Some people like really soft potato-y fries. I see everybody's like, give me potato in oil, hooray! Yeah, I do not like overcooked bacon. It's like, at that point, just give me bacon bits and put it on something else. I know, you can tell I'm a person who doesn't have an air fryer. You can tell. But also, I don't have room for an air fryer, so I probably couldn't get one if I wanted one. Well, I've heard they're neat. Yeah, everybody raves about the air fryer. Which of the Deltarune characters do you think is most likely to own an air fryer? We can count Darkners in that too. Yeah, Noel probably has a little of everything. They're rich. They got the space for it, giant kitchen and all. But aside from Noel, who will own an air fryer? Brady's parents. That's true, they got the donuts. They're making donuts in their house. What an odd, like, situation. Like, are those eyes? No, they're just donuts. What is that hissing? It's just the donuts in the fryer. What are you talking about? What does that mean? Why are they frying donuts in the window? Why are they doing that? I mean, it's a good acknowledgement. I wouldn't have even thought about Brady, and I was like, wait a minute, they've got those donuts in their house. Why do they have that? Oh, that stinks. Not good for fish sticks, though. I don't know. I haven't had fish sticks in a long time. It used to be one of those things I had a lot as a kid, because that's definitely in the category of, like, foods a picky child will eat. Much easier to make a picky child eat a meat if it's covered in bread. Because we're like, holy crap, bread! We love that. Which, you know what? They're not wrong. We love us a meat covered in bread. Yeah, even though I don't use my oven that much, I mostly use the stovetop for I like sauteing things. Put something in a pan with oil and cooking it that way. You don't have your gross outdoor thing with smells like burnt cat food. Or burning cat food on the outdoor grill. And making references to Doug the cartoon? Who doesn't like bread? Bread is the best. Bread is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Yeah, I didn't want to get too mean about that, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, who cares? This is not a numerology business. You're not going to solve it by going, well, this relates to this thing relates to this. That's not how it works. Especially with regards to anything from the Smile ARG, like, the whole point of that is, like, there was no one correct answer. You could put in anything, and that would probably count as long as you gave, like, a proper unit of measurement and within Noelle's lifetime. Honestly, the more interesting ones, I thought, from the ARG were answers were things like definitely acknowledging the player's influence on Noelle and the weird root, like anything where somebody answered, like, I don't know, and the response was like, what do you mean you don't know? Wasn't it you that did it, kind of thing? Like, that's interesting. I like the answers where, like, if you answer something to the degree of, like, when she saw her friends, like, the answer was, aw, like, that was cute. There were definitely some interesting answers for that, but I think if there's anything we could have learned from that, it's, like, there was not one correct answer. Everybody trying to do 11 was like, no, you all, that's not the correct answer. Anybody doing 1, 2, 2, 5 was told, yeah, that's important, but it's not relevant here. Yeah, that's definitely been a problem in Deltarune, I think. In the greater fandom thing is, yeah, people treating it like a Rube Goldberg machine of anything like that. Honestly, that's why, like, gotten locked out. No. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. I did get the, go forward with this answer kind of thing. I'm not sure what will happen with it, because I'm not even playing the weird route. But I'm curious what will happen next. But, I don't know, like, in terms of, people just kind of slamming a bunch of lore bits together and be like, this relates to this, this relates to this. This is why, like, when I got that ask of, like, oh, this is, Susie Gaster kind of thing. Look at all the evidence. And I read the evidence. Literally gave me a headache. I'm like, what the hell am I reading here? This doesn't make any sense. Why are y'all joking about this? Y'all making fun of half-human Susie, and then I get to this, and it's just, like, random lore bits, like, slammed together? Oh my goodness. Sore-sided crocodile. I don't respond to all of them necessarily. Sometimes I'll just delete them. Especially since, like, I don't know, I think the same person that's messaged me has also messaged Akane a couple of times. And I can tell because they have really bad... this is not the same person that actually has it. This is an anonymous person. This anonymous person has pretty bad grasp on English, and they can always tell that they're, like, trying to pick a fight kind of thing. They're always trying to, like, I don't know. It's definitely meant to instigate something, and I always delete those, because I can tell, one, it's the same anon because the way they write is similar, and two, it's almost always something trying to get people mad. And those ones I'm like, nah, bye-bye. Yeah, it's hard not to do now. I want to try and take people seriously. Maybe people are, if they're too stuck on Reddit or whatever. Supposedly you can block an anon if you have the IP address, which I think you can get. Or I used to be able to get it. I just, I haven't bothered to do that. I probably should. This requires effort, but I think you can do it, again, as long as you have the correct IP address for the anon. I'll have to look into that next time. There might be a button, yeah. I guess if, like, Tumblr can just do it on their end, where they're like, oh, hey, we can, even if you can't see it, we can see the IP address, block this one. That would be useful. Yeah, definitely. I think back to, like, Carol and Asgore with their conspiracy boards. Meanwhile, Chris is looking at it like, I don't like this. And then, I do think Green Pippin's, conspiracy board, poking a little bit of fun at it. Unless you're Andrew Cunningham, he gets a pass. He's the exception to the rule. He's the one that's allowed the corkboard. Everyone else, put your corkboards away. You can't do that. Because again, this is not a puzzle to be solved. It is not a vehicle for lore. It is a narrative. So when you make a theory, I invite you to think about, does this make sense as a narrative? That's honestly why I think more theorists should just like write fan fiction. I know people kind of take it as an insult, but I don't think it should be an insult. That's why I do most of my theories like as a narrative, because that's how I think about them. I think about, oh, this is how this would play out as a scene. Here's the dialogue that would happen. Here's the events that would happen for this kind of thing. Like, oftentimes the stuff I do the most, I write a fan fiction in my head. That's how Paper Trail happened. A lot of the smaller comics happened was just a fan fiction, and I would encourage people to do that. They're really two sides of the same coin. And I feel like there's the sense of, oh, we can't take fan fiction seriously. Not like a theory, not like scientific theory. I'm like, this is not a scientific theory. You are guessing a story. So tell a story. Does this work with the characters? Does this make for an interesting narrative? And if you were wrong, you still got a cool story. Yeah, exactly. It is rough because I think the reason why everybody does it is like a theory video or whatever, because that's what gets attention. People don't really pay attention to a fan fiction or a fan comic or whatever so much as they do a video that they can, and I'm guilty of that too, absolutely. Red circle. There's only one bed. Yeah. Yep. This is why they actually asked you to pay attention in English class. It's like, turns out this is a useful skill in other areas of your life. It's also why, but yeah, the whole kind of we're just gonna slap all the numbers together, or pink and yellow are showing up with colors. What does it mean? And I'm like, okay, what does it mean? You have identified all these little bits. What does it actually mean as a narrative? How does this make you feel? What themes are being conveyed by this? Because again, this is not a lore vehicle. This is a narrative. Big legacy comic. Well, I guess if you work in comics, and especially if you're like if you're like an artist or a writer working on a storyline for a certain comic, yeah, you should read those. Because, not like comics take a long time to read. If you're a fan or whatever, then that's probably not as important, but I imagine if you are somebody who is working on a long-running legacy comic, you should probably know what the storylines are for that. If you are a writer, you should read. Try and read more often. Oh my goodness, One Piece is so long though. That is part of the problem, is like, I don't have time to sit down and read long things. The way I've been getting my literature in is I've been downloading audiobooks from the library and listening to them while I do chores, which is good because it's better than nothing. I finally finished Moby Dick this week. Took me way too long. It was good, but it was interesting how like the last 10% of the book is what's actually Ahab fighting Moby Dick, and then like most of the middle is just Herman Melville info dumping about whales and whaling and how cool he thinks whales are. I'm like, you do you, but wow, that's a lot of whale info dumping, a lot of it incorrect because it's from the 19th century. It'll be fine to hunt whales, they won't go extinct, Herman. Oh yeah, and Fandom Space is reading all the Legacy Fandom comics. Oh yeah. I guess the problem with that is, like, you would need a database to access all that stuff, which actually somebody did contact me about putting some of my or at least links to my stuff in a database for Undertale Deltarune. I can probably link that at some point. I don't know how popular that database is, but they were trying to make one of various Undertale Deltarune AUs. Yeah, that was another thing about it that was weird. Like, it was crazy racist and also anti-racist at the same time. It was so interesting. Like, him talking about, you know, basically other races, because there's so much of the whaling crew was, you know, people from other races, and like they're described incredibly racist, but also there was this sense of like, you know, we Englishmen, we have to, you know, remember to respect other cultures, because just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's not important, and blah blah blah. It's a really interesting dichotomy where, like, both correct and super incorrect. Yeah, exactly. The Southeast Asian crewmate is like, there's a cannibal, but actually they're cool guys. There's so much of that in the book. So much of that. It was really fascinating to read, actually. They were still figuring things out. So I would recommend reading it if you can, but it is it's a long book. It's a long book, weirdly racist and also anti-racist at the same time, and also lots of info dumping about whales. And lots of the info dumps are just incorrect because they didn't know. It was the 19th century. But you could tell it was somebody coming from somebody who was like, whales are just the coolest. I love whales. Isn't it cool how we have to hunt the whales? That's so cool. I'm like, you shouldn't actually do that, but I'm glad you think whales are cool. Actually, the most important and special people in the world are people who hunt whales. Because whales are so cool. It is very funny. Also lots of Old English speaking, these and thous, a lot of that. 'Tis the white whale. Yeah, pretty much. Sure, whaling ruined the life of my captain and was the worst thing that happened to us, but let me make this clear, whaling was awesome. Like, that's pretty much the book. Yeah, that I do remember that part. Like, he has a whole chapter about, like, so some people worry that we'll overhunt the whales and stuff like that, but I don't think that's possible. There's way too much space for the whales to, you know, run away from us, so there's no possible way we can overhunt the whales. And then they started overhunting the whales. So you got that one wrong. You got that wrong, Herman. I was like, even though I was listening to that, I'm like, Herman, no. Herman, we have a Save the Whales campaign now because you guys did it too much. You hunted them too much. It was actually a problem. Car flattened by whale blubber launched from exploding carcass. I don't think that happens often enough for insurance to cover it. Don't park near the beach, I guess. You have your shoulder like a continental soldier. I mostly found sad about Moby Dick is, like, we spend a long time with, you know, Ishmael and Queequeg at the start of the book, and then Queequeg kind of gets, like, falls out of the story in the latter half. I'm like, where's Queequeg? He's supposed to be the big, strong harpooner. He does hardly anything in the end. Where's Queequeg? Oh my goodness. That's a lot of ambergris. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if, like, you know, those authors from long past could see how things change now. It's like, what would you think of, you know, what we know about whales now? 'Cause he even had like a chapter on, like, here are all the different kinds of whales that we know about, blah blah blah, and like, I don't even know if he mentioned the blue whale. Maybe he did. It was also funny, like, them trying to categorize them, like, we think whales are fish because of this and this, but dolphins are not whales. That's different. That's true. Pretty much anybody from like, you know, 19th century back would be like, wait a minute, you went to the moon? Wait a minute, you destroyed smallpox? Not enough emphasis on the fact I went to the moon. And now I got an emphasis on the fact that I think I need to do my stretch break. My stretch break snuck up on me. Unless I'm pretty sure it's my time. I'm losing track of it. I know for a while a lot of science fiction of the time of like, whoa, what if we go to the moon and there's people there? Whoa. Which, I guess if you don't know that the moon has no atmosphere, you have no reason to assume that there wouldn't be people there. People on Earth, why not there people on the moon? The moon people. It's like, sorry, we got there and it's just rocks. They're really cool rocks, it's neat, but it's only rocks. It's just moon rocks. Still, the fact that we, like, brought back some rocks from the moon, that's extremely cool. Although I think on one of the Tumblr posts I remember that was funny in terms of, like, bringing back a author and showing them present day was, like, somebody, like, I don't know, trying to explain Marxism or whatever to wait, no, it wasn't Marx. Trying to explain, like, phone companies or whatever to Orson Welles, who wrote 1984, and, like, you know, trying to explain, you know, technology monopolies, and it's like, you have a computer in your pocket, it listens to everything you say and reports it to the government? What are you talking about? You have a speaker in your pocket at all times? And it can transform you. What does it transform you into? A moon person? Bit of a tangent, but speaking of, I gotta decide what I'm gonna stream next. I haven't decided yet. And I know that Moon Remix RPG is on my list, but I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do TS Underswap. Maybe I should do Chrono Trigger. And, like, in my Steam library I have Slay the Spire and Portal and I think Half-Life, and those are ones I just haven't picked up yet. Turn into a source, which is game over. What, you turn into a dinosaur? Oh, that's a game beginning. That's game, hell yeah. Yeah, the point is that we already live in an Orwellian nightmare. Yeah, help me decide what I should do for the next game. Oh, okay. Wait, there is an English translation for it, right? I imagine there has to be. I think it would have to be something I could get off of Steam, because I don't know how to hook up, like, my my Switch or anything yet. I can get it off of Steam, right? But yeah, those are my options. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, it's in English. Okay. I don't want to play Counter-Strike 2. I don't like that. One time I tried to play anything with a shooter in it, and I was like, no, I hate it, and then I never picked it up again. Alright, be right back for one more stretch and stuff. Alright, I return. And also to answer your question, yes, I have played Outer Wilds, and it was really, really good. I cried at the end. So, good Outer Wilds stuff. But, yeah, I liked it a lot. I sucked at it often. I crashed the ship a lot. But I did like it. Also, I had to adjust some settings for it, because I got, like, motion sick playing it the first few times. I don't know if, I'm super excited from Eugenics. Again, I've kind of got a list of stuff I still need to get through. In terms of new things to play. So, right now, what I'm actually, can I, no, I probably can't do that this way. Again, what I'm kind of stuck between now is if I do want to jump into TS Underswap, or if I want to do, Moon Remix, or Chrono Trigger, or if I want to just tackle something that I have in my Steam library that I haven't played yet. And those three things are, Portal, and I think Half-Life, and Slay the Spire. I guess I could go back to that, I did a poll a while ago, see what got, like, second and third and stuff like that. Just go down in order. There's also maybe want to try some horror games at some point, but I'm like, maybe I should save those for, like, October, for spooky season. For spooky spoops. Fatal Frame 2? Nah. Like, I've got a couple of things on that I already wanted to try, like, what was there? I think it was Look Outside, Shipwreck 64, Who's Lila? What's the other horror game people wanted me to give a look at? There's something else. Yeah, I guess I could do another poll. I'd have to do it quick. Do a little shorter one. Yeah, mouthwashing's probably on the list. I don't know if I would have the same effect as mouthwashing because I know what happens through it. I haven't actually played through it myself, but I am aware of like the twist and the ending and all that stuff. So mouthwashing is a possibility just because I do know how it works. Oh, there's another horror game, Crow Country. Somebody wanted me to try Crow Country. Also, I think Dredge. Somebody suggested Dredge. That might be interesting. I was trying to think, what are the horror games people suggested in that? Because I haven't really done any horror games yet. I'm not really interested in, like, any kind of gory slasher stuff. I don't really want a big title like Silent Hill or Resident Evil. I want kind of a smaller thing. I'm not going to play FNAF. I ain't going to give money to Scott Cawthon. No, thank you. I haven't heard of Voices of the Void. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that. That's interesting. What's the concept for that one? But yeah, I guess either way, I'll probably save I'll save maybe my little dipping my toe into some horror games. For more, you know, fall kind of area, more Halloweeny. You have to translate incoming signals coming from outer space. Interesting. I'll admit, mostly when it comes to like horror game stuff, I'm like, Jacob Geller will like make a video on it, and I'm like, oh, that looks neat. I want to try that. That's my basis for comparison. Just give me a weird experience. I don't necessarily want to be scared. I just want a weird, creepy experience. If that makes sense. Is it like a base management game kind of thing? Oh, that's always fun. Things getting weirder as you go on. Did he never finish Rain World? Oh, that's too bad. Rain World is one of those series where it's like, oh, that's a fascinating lore, and I really like how this looks. I don't think I could ever play it because, like, I would just suck so bad and die a lot, and it would not be fun to watch, and it would get frustrating because I know the whole point of that game is, like, life is unfair and then you die. I would definitely see that as a Jacob Geller game. Yeah, I do got to do the Slay the Princess DLC or TS Underswap. Oh, is it not too long? I thought the Chrono Trigger would be one of those games that's a little longer. Because it's like a full RPG. Correct? Alright, I'll make a poll because I can't decide. It's gonna have to be like a 3-day poll rather than a week poll though, because I'm gonna run out of time. I know, I've been promising it for a while. I was gonna wait until it was finished, but I think that might be too long a wait, so I'll go with what we have now. Average chrono playthrough was like 20-25 hours. Okay, that's still probably gonna be like a 12 or 13 session game then. And I'm also thinking about, okay, whenever Chapter 5 comes out, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and focus on that for a bit. Yeah, it seems within the realms of the longer games like, Amori and I guess even Outer Wilds was like a 13 session game or something like that. It's only recently I've been doing things that are a bit shorter. Like Off wasn't that long, obviously Outer Tail wasn't that long, and stuff like that. But okay, I will do a poll. But I'll leave off any horror games for a later time. Again, I think that'll be more appropriate around fall, after whenever we get Chapter 5, basically. Which, I am personally hoping that Chapter 5 will be, like, around July. 1, because that's my birthday, so it would be a cool birthday present. And 2, that would be, good for me in terms of my work schedule. I guess I can do Halloween whenever I want. No one can stop me. That's true. Halloween in July, which is probably a kid's movie somebody's made a few times. They need to make it like a kid's thing of like where Halloween in July meets Christmas in July, and oh no, they're overlapping each other again. Oh no! Halloween in January. That is true. It was a Gravity Falls episode. That's true. We've still got the Halloween tree up. Yeah, I'm guessing Delta Traveler is probably not going to be updated in a while. It sounds like Violet Bunny is busy with other things that take priority. I should rewatch Gravity Falls. I haven't watched that in a long time. It's been a while. Been a while. Yeah, maybe I should just wait for any revamps for Delta Traveler. Don't want to bust in the middle of stuff happening. Yeah, that I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, Linoleum. That was kind of the impression I got, which, you know, that's fine. Fan projects are hard to make and take a long time, as evidenced by the fact that I have been drawing backgrounds for Eldritchrune for what, like 2 years at this point? So sometimes life just turns away and you're like, I can't do this anymore. That's fine. Things take a while to happen. I'll see, you just need like a cool little outside thing, like a flamingo or a dinosaur or a skeleton or something. And then every time there's a holiday, you can, you know, dress him up. Like if you had a skeleton right now, you could give him a bunch of knives and it would be themed for Ides of March, which is today. Would you ever do a Susie Half-Human series? Honestly, I think I'm done with Growing Pains as a series. Maybe we'll do something with, if that does turn out to be canon, I might write a fan fiction rather than do a comic. Because I've had some ideas for like, oh, this would be, you know, different interesting things to explore Susie's past. Again, if that's confirmed true kind of thing, it would be different from Growing Pains just because, again, I don't think the transformation aspect is viable for canon right now. I think that was for the fan fiction only. So if I did do something else with that, I'd be like, okay, this might be interesting to explore, but like as fanfic rather than a comic. Even though I normally do everything in comic form because that's like how I imagine things. Like, okay, I think if I did do that, I could do this one in writing. I do like drawing angsty TF. It's fun. I kind of want to do it again for, like, ideas for how Chapter 6 would end. For, like, a short comic. But people are going to yell at me, like, you're just doing this stuff again. I'm like, because it's fun. Although I will say for Growing Pains, I didn't just do it for that. It actually was for story reasons. Mostly in that I was trying to work out, TF means transformation. The reason why I did that for Growing Pains is because it was for story reasons. I was trying to work out, okay, if this is a situation where, you know, her mom cheated and, you know, slept with a monster and stuff, why was this not found out until now? Why would, you know, this be kept a secret until she's a teenager. And then I came up with what if, she changed from human looking to monster looking with puberty? And that's why that came to light at that point. Why she moved at that point, kind of thing. So it was for timeline reasons. And then we got canon where she basically said, I moved around all the time. So I'm like, okay, so that's the reason why she moved when she did. We don't need any other explanation for it. So that's why, like, if the half-human Susie thing is canon, is real, don't think there's any transformation aspect to it, because we don't need it. We can just say that, yep, she's been dealing with that her whole life. It's simpler. But it is fun to do as angst. And I could do it for like a interesting little chapter 6 ending possibility. But one more thing on top of all the things I gotta do. So that's why I haven't really poked at the idea yet. I'm too busy. I got so much. Oh, the poor skibbity toilets. Yeah, that is true. She could certainly still do the foster kid thing if she's half human. That's possible. I feel like she had to have spent some time with her mom, just because that whole deal with, talking to Chris about someday your mom's going to get sick of you. It really does feel like she is talking about her mom in that sense. That she is just projecting really hard onto Chris. Which means she has spent time with her mom at least a while. And especially like if it's her mom is the human one, then her mom's obviously not in hometown. I don't think that any human parent would have gone with her to hometown. So she if she's half human and she's in hometown now, she is either with I'm sorry about the ads. She's either with her monster parent or with a foster parent. Gosh darn ad timing. Alright, I'll have to wait while I draw this door. Yeah, that is true. Aside from ads. Maybe I'll wait for ads to get back. Let me know when ads are done, and we'll keep talking. Let me know when the ads shush their shush mouth. Shush your shushy mouth, ads. I guess it is 11 o'clock. Oh my goodness. Are the ads done? Let me know when ads are done, and I'll pick up where we left off. Suppose I can check myself, but I have my browser buried. Okay, done. All right, ads are done. Cool. But yeah, basically, she says that she moved around a lot. She doesn't necessarily say that we as a family moved around a lot. So it could have been a foster situation. That's certainly possible. It's kept very vague. And she has little to no personal possessions, true. She's got, like, her clothes, which are falling apart, and a poster, and, bed with no sheets or whatever. It's not great. At least can support her enough if they paid for an apartment, yeah. So that they can afford something. Not a lot. She's clearly poor. I don't think she's living by herself. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a lot simpler to be like, there is an adult in her life who is just not being a proper adult. They are, could be the state. But even then, if the state is doing that, they still give you a guardian. They still give you someone who is living with her, because she is not, she's underage. She is still a kid. She is going, even if she's in the foster care system, somebody is there. They might not be somebody who gives a crap, and they might just be effectively ignoring her. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to meet the person or not. That's a good question. I think even if we find out that, like, Susie is half human or whatever, I don't think we're gonna see her parents, except maybe in, like, flashback silhouette style. Like, you'll see, like, an outline of, like, someone who's clearly a monster, someone who's clearly a human, and that's, like, or a silhouette or whatever, and that's, like, it. I don't know if we're actually gonna meet a person. That part feels unlikely to me. Because the adults in her life have failed her. They have failed her. Yeah, I could see that. Like, her dad is the one that's taking care of her because, you know, he's the monster one, but he's just absolute lowlife. He's not a good parent. Yeah, that's another reason why I'm like, I don't think that Carol will not be that stupid. Why I don't think the trick against Susie is going to be, oh no, we're gonna get her arrested because she's a delinquent and trash things. Because, like, who's gonna arrest her? Like, is the mayor gonna do that? Is the mayor gonna throw her in jail? That's weird. Because Undyne is gone. There is no one to arrest her at the moment, and the one person who would arrest her is who Susie is trying to save. So I don't think, like, the threat of the law is actually very useful in this situation. I know. I think it would be really cool if we saw her parents. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Again, I think we might see a silhouette. We will at least get the sense of, like, okay, this is kind of what they look like, but I'm not holding out hope that we'll get to actually see them or meet them. Yeah, that's another one. I would really like to see them actually, how they adopted Chris, but that's another one they're going to keep from us. We're not going to get that one. Boo! It would be nice to, like, yeah, the monsters are not all perfect. Here's a deadbeat loser guy who does not look after his kid, and he sucks ass. Because even then, the whole, like, you know, monsters are, you know, perfect, kind things, and it's humans who are, you know, mean. Even that was shattered a bit in Undertale, just in the most recent anniversary thing, where Garrison is like, hey, the lines weren't actually all that clear cut. Some things might have been smoothed over. People fought on both sides. Kind of like, no one is actually perfect here. There's just power imbalances. Susie, the power of subversion. So it would be nice to, like, get that kind of reminder of, like, yeah, actually, this guy just sucks. There's, like, nothing really good about him. Like, it's not even oh, you know, he can be redeemed or whatever, but no, this guy just kind of sucks. Her dad sucks. And her mom sucks. They both suck, and she's had crappy parents who, because she was, like, a difficult child, you know, with the half-human stuff and difficult to care for, people, you know, especially if, like, having, you know, a half-human kid is taboo in the society, then there's, like, this resentment the parents would have towards her that she feels, and that's why she feels like, oh, I'm inherently bad. Am I a Dadster or Broster fan? I'm gonna subvert things here. I don't think Gaster is related in a familial sense to Sans. They are about equal for me in that terms of, like, if that happened to be, like, okay, but I'm not gunning for one or the other. Magic could just turn to death, trouble against humans. No, this one is bigger and stronger than a human, more of a jerk by default. It is interesting. I know, it's weird. That's always been my position. I never put Gaster as, like, a familial relation to Sans. He very well could be. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he was, but it's just not my preferred situation. Oh, I forgot string doodles. I gotta open that. Oh my goodness. Alright, you're gonna have to send me, references for that. Sorry, I gotta pull that up. Yeah, it is weird that, like, Susie's magic stat is so low. Why is her magic stat low? It is. I think part of it is like so we can see her developing it as she goes along. Like she works really hard and you know, is able to heal stuff on her own. Like that's neat. All right. Refs. Oops. Let me pull that back up. Ah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's a bit much. Do Joel and Mike. Oh, likenesses I probably would struggle with. Actually, does Susie's yeah, Susie's stats go up in Magic at the yeah. Oh, sheesh, I did this wrong. Open recent. There we go. Yeah, this will be kind of quick. What I find exceptionally weird though is that Chris can't use magic in the dark world. I'm like, okay, this is a world of like, you know, imagination and stuff. What is stopping a human from being able to use magic in the world of imagination? They don't use magic in the real world, but they do in the dark world. Like, basically, monsters can use magic in the dark world, but not in the real world. But humans can't seem to use magic in the dark world either. And I find that to be confusing. Because if the whole point of the dark world is that this is a realm of imagination, well, what about imagination is preventing humans from doing that in the dark world? Just kind of weird. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's two characters at once. It's probably going to be a little bit wonky. I guess we'll figure it out when the roaring happens. Oh no! Yeah, that's always possible. It's like maybe we'll find out the reason later. Have you never seen a movie you watch and information is revealed? It's like a bug guy. Probably should make this one smaller, actually. They're simply different. I'm different. I mean, I can't blame him if that's the case. It's xenofiction is fun. That's why I'm kind of like you know, if we're gonna have a bunch of monsters and stuff, and humans, let's do some cool stuff with them together. Look at Half-Life 2 is self-aware. What next? Yeah, don't beat me up. Actually, I should probably move that over. It's a little tough to do just doing it straight without without doing any kind of underdrawing. Alright, I'm glad you're liking it, because I'm like, oh, this is a little bit of a toughie for a basic sketch. But I'm glad you're liking it. I do like bug characters. I think we should see more bug monsters in Undertale Deltarune. Kind of a shame we haven't gotten more of those. I just realized he's got little, he's a bug. He's got little sidearms. Okay. Ready to get your ass kicked? Not ready. Okay, there we go. I guess that is true. That is true. We do have a lot of bug monsters in the ruins. But even then, they're kind of just like actual bugs as opposed to like anthropomorphic bugs. Big greens? What is big greens? All right. Thank you for the request. Big eye greens. I feel like didn't Undertale Yellow have a bug NPC? I do feel like fan games have kind of been better about that. Like I think the Cooking with Kindness game is going to have a bug NPC, or actually probably a bug main character that's like an anthro bug. Which that's another fan game I should play once that's done. OTS has a bee shopkeeper. Cool. Cool. Sadie from Uchi. Why is a bug girl? Okay. So we got some bug options. Cause yeah, there's kind of a difference between like monsters that are just bugs and monsters that are like anthro bugs. Oh, interesting. I'm learning all kinds of new things. And I'm pretty sure, I think it was Royal Guard 4 was supposed to be a bug. Like the Royal Guards 3 and 4 are a bug and a cat. Or was it a bug and a bunny? No, the bunny one was one of the guard was RG1. Okay. Yeah, bug and a cat. That was it. Which was the one that was going to get dusted and then the other one would breathe them in and have a panic attack. Absolutely wild thing. Kind of wish we had gotten it, but also, oh no, if we had gotten it. Yeah, I guess Muppet kind of counts. That's true. It feels different between, like, a spider and, like, an insect, though. Also, I feel like in terms of, like, anthropomorphized anthropods, I guess, people pick spiders a lot more often than they do, like, other bugs. And even then, like, Muffet was a guest monster. That was designed by somebody else. That was Kickstarter winner kind of stuff. How many of the monsters actually were like Kickstarter monsters? I know Muffet was, and I know that So Sorry was, but were there other ones? Bug Fables. I'll put that on the list. Does Glide count? Oh wait, I must say Glide doesn't count as a bug. Okay, Glide was a Kickstarter monster. Okay. Yeah, they're all handled so differently. Like, Muffet is pretty much, like, integrated into the story. You have to encounter Muffet, no matter what. So, she's a required one. And then, Glide is, like, really easy to miss unless you do certain things in a certain space for, X amount of time. But still a little bit easy to encounter. And then you can only encounter So Sorry in extremely specific circumstances. Yeah, what a weird situation. That is true. They at least hint at So Sorry and where to find him. I think I've only fought him like once. I didn't want to like mess with my computer clock, so I actually waited for the proper day and time. Yeah, I think Glide takes longer to show up if you've done more murders, but if you haven't killed anybody, I think he'll show up under like 2 minutes or something like that. I got no overworld. And now there's apparently some big old controversy with So Sorry too, so I don't think we're ever seeing that referenced again. Yeah, I think I fought So Sorry once on my PlayStation version. And again, I just waited for the correct time and day. But I have not fought him since then. Well, I don't think Eldritchrune has ever referenced So Sorry, has it? I think that it's been Undertale only. It's kind of dropped. I think some people kind of assume that, yeah, it's in the art therapy room, but I don't know if that's necessarily supposed to be So Sorry. It's really vague. And I know he does talk a lot like So Sorry, but I'm not sure. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. We don't kill each other kind of thing. If that is the case, then we're probably never going to see them again beyond that. Yeah. That's young Chris. Yeah, like I don't think we're ever going to see Muffet and Deltarune. I don't think any of the Kickstarter characters are going to show up because this is a different game and you would have to have different, meanings for it. Oh, that would be interesting, like young Chris meeting current Chris. Chris, you had to go to the therapies and it still didn't work. Oh, I gotta take a break here. It's past my break time. Finish this real quick. Alright. Break time. Time for break. Ugh. Well, I do have to get an Advil after this. My poor back. Ugh. So mad. I don't even know what I did. Body's just like, well, this is gonna all hurt now forever. I've got some stretches I can do for it that my massage therapist suggested I try. That's for like lower back and glute and stuff like that. That I was doing a little bit, and then I stopped because my foot got hurt and I didn't want to exacerbate, like make that worse. But I should try and see if there's other ones I can do too. But aside from that, I think the problem is I need to buy a new mattress because the current one I have is like over 10 years old and I got it from IKEA when I first moved here a while ago. So I'm like, oh shoot, I probably have to go, buy a new mattress and it's gonna be so expensive. I was looking online and I'm like, oh, these things are like thousands of dollars. Oh. But I know it's such a hassle, but I have to do it. I spend a third of my life on a mattress. I have to get a good one. And honestly, I should probably replace most of my bed stuff. It's getting all kind of yucky at this point. Like, I need a new mattress. I definitely need a new mattress cover. I could probably stand to get new pillows. Everything is like, you know, if I get something that's like, you know, decent and proper, that might actually help both my sleep and, like, you know, my spine and stuff like that. But, oh, that's going to be a big chunk of cash. So maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll walk myself over to the mattress store. There's one that's pretty close to me, and I'll be like, okay, help me here. I'm not even sure, like, what kind of mattress I need to sleep on. Like, if I need, like, a soft one or a firm one. Getting to sleep is usually not a problem for me. I can do it pretty quick. Although I do tend to wake up way earlier than I'm supposed to. I kind of got, like, the opposite problem of a lot of people. I'll fall asleep quickly, but I'll wake up well ahead of my alarm. But, I don't know, maybe that would change if I got a proper mattress. Because, yeah, all the stuff I have right now, I, like, got from IKEA when I first moved here. Because I just needed a bed right away. And it's been over a decade, and I probably need something that's a lot more supportive and decent and long-lasting and comfortable, but not looking forward to how much money that'll cost. Adulting! Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch. Alrighty, I'm back. We will do one more session. And I wonder how close we are to finishing the backgrounds for this part. I'm curious. We got this. And I think this is the last page of that. Yeah, then this gets into the next part. We're getting pretty close. We might manage it. I don't think there's a lot of heavy backgrounds we have left to do. Actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a copy of something else I can use. Where did that go? There it is. The power of copy-paste. Copy pastas. This is like almost exactly the same size, too. Come on. Yeah, perfect. little bit bigger, and that's about it. Heck yeah. We love not having to draw this twice. That one's done. There's another one up there. Yeah, that one. Cool beans. Cool beans. Yeah, I think we'll get all the backgrounds done for this part. Which, yay. And then hopefully next week I'll have a little something else than backgrounds to do. Can maybe hopefully work on some character stuff for the next main comic, but it depends on what I can get done next week. Especially if I have to go mattress shopping. Which I don't think I've ever actually done in earnest. I've either had like somebody else buy it first for me, or again, when I first moved here, I just bought one at IKEA because I needed one. And I'm like, shoot, I should probably like think about it. Oh, nice. Congrats on finishing the line art. Good job. You're going to see me working on backgrounds for Eldritchrune for a while yet to come. But one day they will end. I don't think handedness is really something you can discern from the sprites in the game. That's why I'm definitely a person that, is a Death Knighter, but I have never taken the Death is the Knight because she's left-handed, and same with the computer thing. I'm like, that's not how they design the sprites, guys. They design it in a way so that it just makes logical sense and makes a good silhouette from your perspective. I promise you, nobody's actually thinking that much about their handedness. What looks good in a top down or isometric or whatever perspective is what's considered. What is their handedness? Whatever your heart desires, whatever looks good. It's also kind of the same thing, like, oh, we can judge the character's height by comparing sprites to each other. It's like, no, you can't, I'm sorry. It's just the art style. It's just what works within the confines of the design setup. Height judgment, it pretty much is vibes based. It's lots of vibes. All vibes all the time. No. Yeah, people tend to make a Asriel pretty short in Undertale. It's all vibes all the time. I mean, heck, people were always making like a, Ralsei is so much like shorter than Chris and Susie, even though technically speaking, Ralsei and Chris are probably the same height. It's about how it feels. He's the size of first who is years old, pretty much. Kirby's like, oh, you wanted a proper timeline? Well, you're not getting that. Can't be bothered. See, I would see Friska's like 10 or 11 or so. They're not a preteen or anything like that. Like I wouldn't put them at 12 or 13, but I can see 10. Old enough to know what flirting is in any case. Ah, okay. It was a reference, and I didn't know the reference. I see. I see. Viking. Part of me kind of wonders if part of the reason why we haven't seen Papyrus yet is because, like, part of his problem is that he's supposed to be, like, you know, a taller young adult kind of person, but because Deltarune's sprites are all, like, proportioned differently than Undertale's, he's just in a position where you can't split the difference on him, and it looks awkward no matter what. Like, he's going to be as tall as Susie, and they're trying, and it's like, okay, how do you solve that problem? In so many sense. Susie is tall. She is large. They were basically racing each other in height. Oh. Because they died as children. Mostly, I can't wait to see Asriel and Eldritchrune because I want to see how did he grow up. I hope he became a fridge like the rest of his family. I hope he got big chunk. Now, really... Yeah, that's weird. I don't think we've seen... Well, no, we must have seen it, right? No, wait, we haven't. She hasn't gone with us into the police station. Oh my goodness. Like, Susie obviously knows that Undyne exists and is worried about her, but I don't think we've ever actually seen them side by side. Because Susie's gonna look huge next to her. Oh no! Then again, I always found it kind of funny that, like, the impression that Undyne gives off is like that she's really, you know, strong and buff, but she is a noodle. She is a noodle. She has the noodle arm. She does not have buff arms. She should have buff arms. But, like, her sprites just give her the most noodle arms. She is suplexing all this boulders with her noodle arms. She's got animator arms. How does she do it? Susie's probably got thicker arms than she does. My goodness. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Susie is not buff. Susie is large, but not, I wouldn't call her buff. She does not have, like, I don't know. I like it when people, like, draw Susie as, like, just kind of this hulking figure that has, like, a bit of a slouch to it. So, like, if she was actually standing up to, like, her full height, you would see, like, oh, she's actually kind of, like, large and scary. Rock Lee. She wears Rock Lee compression sleeves. It all makes sense now. Susie knocks down the door. Step into a Slim Jim. She tried to convince you she's buff, but I don't think she spends any time working out. She slouches. I do like Toby trying to remind the audience, like, hey, I know that, you know, Susie and Undyne get compared, but remember, Undyne is, you know, wants to be this big hero. She's all about upholding the law. Susie just wants to grill and chill. Yeah, so good thing she doesn't work out. Kiss the my ass. Susie will probably cook burning fire. Toby, Undyne is a cop. That's the difference. Pretty much. Why I never liked the ideas of like, oh, you know, Undyne will mentor Susie and, you know, try and be like her. Susie should be a cop. Like, Susie should not be a cop. Do not ever make Susie a cop. That's just incorrect. Like, you can interpret the character however you want. You can't make Susie a cop, though. Sorry, I won't allow it. That's wrong. She does not work that way. Yeah, maybe in Undertale where, like, they're not really cops so much as, you know, it's fantasy royal guards. It's not the same connotation. Yeah, no more lesbian cops. Like, oh, this big buff lesbian is a cop. No, she's not. She's not a cop. She will never be a cop. She wants to grill and chill. Yeah, fewer cops, period. But even then, like, in Deltarune, it kind of makes sense that Undyne would still fall into that position just because, again, she's coming from being an agent of the state to, you know, being in an authority position, trying to be a peacekeeper or whatever. But Susie absolutely does not fit the bill on that. Literally the first thing when, you know, Ralsei's trying to be like, oh, Susie, you need to save the world and stuff. Susie's like, I don't care. Now she does still want to save the world and all that, but she does not want that to be her job. And that's not really a cop's job anyway, so definitely doesn't work out. Well, I'm kind of wondering, like, what profession would Susie choose once she's an adult? I don't think she's thought about it at all. It's a little hard to decide. I think she might just do, like, random jobs around, just, like, handyman jobs. I know I've seen some art of her, like, kind of helping out with gardening, and that looks nice too. I think she would mostly have to do pretty physical jobs because she struggles with book learning, and her literacy is not great, so anything that involves a lot of reading she'd probably struggle with. Could be a jack of all trades. There is still that question of what is Asriel off studying. But part of the problem is, like, this is a game about, you know, growing up in roles and stuff, so what are you going to do when you grow up? That's probably a question that all of the kids are avoiding. Like, that would involve growing up, and that sounds bad right now, so. Too much Phoenix Wright. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I do feel extremely lucky that the thing I do for my work is a thing that I enjoy doing. I am good at it, and I enjoy doing it. And I can't complain about that at all. And sure, it would be nice to work on, like, more like a artistically interesting or intellectually stimulating projects as opposed to stuff for little kidlets. But the fact that I get to do a job that I enjoy, that I like doing, and I'm good at it, it's pretty fortunate. No, don't get into poli-sci. Don't get into politics. No. For some reason I always had him being like an engineer. That'd be neat. An astronomer also could be neat. He might like space stuff. I know some people have said botanist because of the, the flowery joke that way. I don't know if Asriel is actually interested in like plants. Asriel has come to end the holiday administration. We have suffered your iron grip on this town too long, Carol. Can you stand up against the power of a golden child that everybody in town loves? And she probably couldn't, because the whole thing they've said about Carol is like, everyone's scared of her, but she's also efficient and gets stuff done, and nobody opposes her, so we deal with it. If somebody like charismatic and stuff came in, challenged her, they might win, actually. He does. I think he would have the charisma. True. Although, man, way to make Chris feel even more inferior. Oh, your perfect golden brother is now also the mayor of hometown. He gets to inherit a kingdom. And by inherit, we mean we voted him in democratically. We are blazing through this. Oh my goodness, we are at the end of this part. All it took was being from a different universe. Hooray! He finally did it. Like, good news, Asriel, you finally get to grow up. Yay! Bad news, your parents still divorced. Sorry, that's a canon event. We can't change that part. King Asriel would be interesting. How would things go for him? How would he do with that? With that kind of job? I do kind of wonder if, like, being Golden Child in Deltarune has left some kind of strong pressures on him, and he might want to retreat from that quite a bit. It depends. Alright, now we're on to this, which is going to be a lot more of that. That'd be interesting. What could have been if Asriel and Kara had not died? Might things have turned out differently? Well, they obviously would have turned out differently, but in what ways? Yeah. Oh, that would be interesting. I'm sure people have done that in fan fiction, right? They must have. What else I can make a good red mage? I don't know. I don't know the classes well enough. I haven't heard very good things about Caretaker, unfortunately. I've not heard the best things. I haven't really looked into it or anything like that. I'm not super involved in a lot of... has its own things going on. Well, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes that's the way it would be. Yeah, it came out a while. Is it still going, or is it done? Or did it, like many fandom projects, never get finished? I guess I could consult that database. Oh, it's been done since 20... Okay, wow. That was a while ago. We actually finished it. Nice to have things actually get done, though. We do love us when things get done. Not for kids in what way? Is it like sexual? Is it violent? Is it both? Are the topics just too heavy? It's extremely violent. I see. I see. Oh, this Eldritchrune is definitely not. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a kid-friendly AU either, but at the same time, this also takes place in just like a completely different universe. Everyone is a big scary monster rather than just the same person, but different things happen to them. Was this one of those stories that did a Asriel ship like we were talking about last time? Oh, yeah. So that just answered my question, I guess. Wah, wah, wah. I mean, Asriel look absolutely chopped. Tiny! Yay! Which fan creation are we talking about? We're talking about a Caretaker of the Ruins. Okay, well, I'm glad they weren't weird about it. And I don't even mind people being weird about it. Like, if you're going to be weird about it, that's fine. Just make sure you, like, let people know ahead of time. Hey, there's going to be stuff like that. Here's a warning for it. So that people who are like, yay, that's my kind of weird about it, can, you know, delve in. And people who do not like it are like, I will not engage with that. Goodbye. Okay. It's so rough because, like, even canon itself is like, they became like siblings. And people just kind of assume, okay, they were siblings for all intents and purposes. Definitely a funky situation when it's like, okay, you know, we're not blood related or anything, but that is true. That is always weird. Why does he talk like he lost one child? Even Toriel seems a little bit better about that. Yeah, that's probably unavoidable. Probably the smart thing is to err on the fence so that, you know, people who don't like it will, you know, not do that. People who do like it can, you know, use that as a jumping off point, but that does generate a discourse. I could see that happening, yeah. Heck, I can see that happening in Deltarune right now. I can see a situation where, like, yeah, Asgore loves, you know, Asgore and Toriel love both of their kids, but at least with Asgore, Asriel was the favorite. Just even right now, he kind of, like, seems to be more concerned about what Asriel will think and what Asriel is doing than what Chris is doing right now. Whereas Toriel is deeply concerned with what Chris is doing right now. And, like, yeah, Asgore gives Chris a big old bear hug, but then immediately realizes, oh, wait, do you even like those? Kind of thing. Interesting situation. Are they not both your child? That is true. That is true. I will say, like, it's not something I ship at all. Like, that is not appealing to me, but I can see, like, if that was something you shipped, you could do some really interesting things with that, including weird things. And it's weird because, like, there definitely seems to be more of a sense of, like, people are more okay with, like, Kara and Asriel, but Chris and Asriel seems ickier. Maybe because we're, like, more aware. We see more of, like, okay, yeah, they grew up together. They were considered siblings. They, like, Asriel is called Chris's brother. It's way less nebulous. Yeah, the game says sibling blatantly. Yeah. A little bit different between, oh, they were like siblings and, like, yeah, he was your brother. Or he is your brother, rather. To the point where it's stretching all the way over into poor Ralsei. Just for looking like Asriel. No, Kara and Chris are different characters. That is true. Kara is their own person, and Chris is their own person. Actually, you know what? Let's do a guide here. Where's my guides? Get a little 1-point perspective here going. This makes it a lot easier. Yay! This is why I do this stuff in the Storyboard Pro. We got really useful tools like this. Oh no! No, that's even worse because then you're gendering Kara. No, stop! No! Oh, grief. This is why one of the reasons why I couldn't keep watching Glitch Tale, where I'm like, oh, they're just like gendered. They're just like fully gendered, and not even are they just like gendering both of the humans, but also like changing their designs to like look more masculine. It's so bad. I was like, oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Apparently Underverse does that too? I didn't even remember that. I didn't recall that at all. Wait, didn't like answer it? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, kid works so much. Oh, that's so awkward. That's so weird. Like, it's fine to have a non-binary character that's, you know, more masculine presenting or more feminine presenting. They don't have to be, like, perfect androgynousness. But, because non-binary does not fit into a binary either. Oh, I'm sorry about the foundational bad fandom experience. I'm sorry about that. Ugh. I came into it, like, really late. I didn't, like, watch a bunch of these big fan series when they first came out. So I was like, oh, I should, you know, check out... Like, everybody talks about Glitch Tale. You know, people ask me about it, and I haven't actually watched it, so I'll watch it. And I was like, is this what everybody's excited about? Oh, okay. Like, at least watching it, I was like... You know, ignoring all the other fandom drama stuff... watching it, I'm like, okay, this is somebody who's really skilled with, like, effects animation, and that's cool because, you know, effects animation is really hard, and people, you know, ignore it often, so yay, this person has some really cool effects animation experience. Everything else, I was like, oh, why is this, like, Newgrounds Flash level stuff going on? Ooh. Why are there no backgrounds? Why are all the characters, like, anime face? Even the monsters. Oh, I do remember Ask Drunk Kara. And Trace's fight scenes. No! How weird. And oh my goodness, I just realized it's probably my time to stop. Time flies. Time flies. Let's go down to a better panel, though. Oh, let's get rid of that. But yeah, I finished all of this. I think this was for part 11. Here, this is getting a door being broken down. Queer discourse development, true. But yeah. Oh my goodness. But that's the way things are for you. It'll definitely be interesting to see how Deltarune fandom develops after Chapter 5 and with further chapters as we go on. What more projects will come out? People have made some really cool projects, though. I don't want to, like, just crap on people's projects or anything like that, because there's been some exceptionally cool things. I remember one of the first animations that I saw that was just really cool. I think it was the like anniversary one where it was about Undyne and Alfie's meeting, and that was a gorgeously animated short film. That was just really like the motion of it, the colors, the flow. Oh, that was so well done. So I think people might focus on things that are like series because that's running longer, but yeah, there's a lot of really excellent work out there. So let's end on that good note. Think about the good things, the things that are cool and well done. Oh no, ad timing. Oh, okay. I'll wait until the ads are done, then I'll give a proper goodbye. Everyone wants their Undertale TV show. No, you don't. Okay, let me know when ads are done, and I will give proper goodbye. I will give proper goodbye. I don't mean like an anime style is bad inherently or anything like that. I mean like the problem with Glitch Tale is like they would just kind of trace like a base anime face and use that for everything, including monsters that like, you know, would not have that, like the Dreamers and, you know, Undyne and stuff like that. My problem is like it did not look like they were really trying to, you know, look at the characters for as they were, that they were just like tracing from a base and altering very little. So I'm not harping on you, don't worry. Don't you worry. Alright. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time and I'm not planning to. I got other cool things to watch. Plenty of them. I'll never get to all of them. But I gotta do it. Too many things. Yeah, let me know when ads are done. And I will wish y'all a farewell for the day. Ugh, and I will probably go get an Advil for my horrible low back. Maybe that was the case. Alright, I guess ads are done. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. I'll put up a poll soon for a game for Friday, since we couldn't decide on anything. I'll go through my list and see what we got, and I'll do a new poll, and hopefully there'll be a cool game on Friday. And also, we will do more art next Sunday. Hopefully it will not be backgrounds, it'll be something different. But either way, glad I was able to get through one of those parts. That's always good news. And I'll mark that off on my list. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And that your week goes well as well. All that stuff. I appreciate y'all being here and chatting with me. It's always a fun time. You all are super cool, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. So yeah, I'll put up that poll later. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alrighty, see you later.